What's up? Good morning. Welcome to the show. We're your hosts, Grant Cohn, Brandon Deutsch, Mod Sports. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about science and electricity and stuff that I don't understand at all, that no one understands, but Christian McCaffrey is concerned. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. This is finally like someone other than John Feliciano acknowledging some concerns about this on the board. And Delaney Walker, who was on the team 20 years ago, 10, 15. But first, we're going to get to that. Let's talk first biggest offseason priorities for the 49ers. What do they need to do this offseason to put themselves in contention?
There's so much priorities. I don't really know if there's like one that's like the biggest.
Let's help them make a list then.
Well, tight end. I would think tight end because I don't know if they're going to – are they going to extend Jake Tonjes?
That's a restricted free agent. And I don't know. They need a tight end.
I think those are 3 signed Tonjes. I honestly, like all these people on X doing these mock drafts, Grant. I sent you guys my tweet yesterday about it. Like we all do these mock drafts about what the Niners should do when, John Lynch is just going to draft some edge rusher with a 3rd round grade in round 1. And then two running backs and receivers we've never heard of the rest of the way. And then we're going to be like, oh, these guys are sleepers. They're dogs. D'Angelo Pons alongside Upton Stout, 2 5'9" corners. They'll probably get him, And I don't know, man. I don't have faith. Like, I think that's like where it's gone. Cause I know, Grant, you put out that tweet about, John Lynch's 1st round picks and Balky's. And we thought Balky, we had people in the Niners fans that hate Trent Baalke, right? Still to this day. And obviously got fired
because of all those like 2nd and 3rd round picks he wasted on players with torn ACLs.
Yeah, and look, I'll give John Lynch credit. He's better at drafting than Trent Baalke in like the later rounds. I don't know who to credit. Adam Peters, obviously, I think was seen as some boy genius, but I think we're kind of figuring out he was in charge of the Javon Kinlaw pick because how quick he gave him $55 million in free agency. So I don't know. I think
it could have just been blind luck. I mean, they drafted George Kittle in round 5. They drafted Brock Purdy in round 7.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fred Warner, like late round.
They might have got lucky.
Right? I mean, I also think the Rams, it's blind luck with Puka Nacua as well in round 5. Like, I think that goes for every organization. You kind of get a premier player in late rounds in your scouting department. We don't know who to. Some people say it was Gladstone for the Rams. Others say Les Snead. Others say somebody else. Who knows? Who cares? I think the point here is Maj is right. They have a lot of needs. The issue I've run into, and I've done a full mock on my YouTube as well about it with the 49ers, I have a wide receiver in round 1 for them, but it's like, that's the only position group I kind of trust them to draft in round 1, but Kyle won't use the guy anyway. So is there a point? Like I personally would go edge rusher or O-line in the 1st round for 2 reasons. One, who knows if Michael or Bosa is going to be playing week 1? They claim Bosa's obviously further along. They claim they're going to be playing week 1, right? We don't really know that, right? I mean, Ayuk was claimed to come back earlier in the season. He never came back, right? So I think they need depth at edge rusher. I like Keon White, but not enough to use him as like a star off the edge, right? He's more of a depth edge rusher. I think they have a need there. They could use Messidor from Miami. I honestly don't care that he's 25 years old. Why not? Get an edge rusher. Or offensive line to get really a guard
from Penn State.
Yeah, Vega-Ione's great. He could really fill in Burford's spot. I think that'd be good because, you give Pooney another year. Maybe he was just injured all year, and that's why he sucked. But I don't know. I think those are the 2 things. I don't think they will draft either of them. I think they're going to draft Casey Concepcion or Denzel Boston, personally.
I would love Casey Concepcion. That'd be awesome. He's good.
All right, let me give you my take on this. The 49ers have a ton of offseason priorities. I mean, you can't go wrong. You could pick any position other than quarterback and say that this is a priority for the 49ers. And this is absolutely true. Like, they need good players. What they need to do is draft good players and not reach for need, which is what they've been doing for the last 9 years under this regime. But I think the number one offseason priority for the 49ers this year is bigger than which position do they go after first. Their number one offseason priority is to figure out a solution for the injury issue, because no matter who they pick, who they sign, who they draft, the dude gets hurt. They took Michael Williams. He might have been the right pick. He might not have been the right pick. He tore his ACL. They gotta have some type of a fix for this, and that's why people are talking about this electrical substation thing, because no one knows, and they don't know, and they've had 10 years to figure something out. Like, there's a stat that they've been top 10 in injuries 8 of the last 9 years. Like, That can't be bad luck. The odds of that are like 1 in almost 2,000.
It's
So
got to be maybe Kyle
Substation, if it's the training staff, if it's Kyle Shanahan, I don't know what it is. They got to find it. And if they don't, it really doesn't matter who they draft, who they sign, who they trade for, because the guy's going to get hurt.
I don't think it's an electrical substation thing. I don't think it's that.
It's Kyle's regimen, man. It's no shock that when he came in to be the head coach of the 49ers that these injuries started going out of control. Like when Harbaugh was the coach, sure, there were some injuries here and there, but it wasn't to the level of Kyle Shanahan. Before that, when, I know they call him Tom Sula, when even he was the head coach, there wasn't injuries to the level of, I know they didn't have as many good players, but I don't know. We know that Kyle's known to be a guy that pushes his guys in practice, that, kind of gets them ready to get hit on Sundays. And sometimes that helps because you're prepared to get hit. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's too strenuous on the body. And maybe the EMF signaling has something to do with it. I don't know. The collagen degradation or whatever they've been talking about that. I know, Grant, you're going to interview somebody about that. What is it, next week? About
learn
that?
something. In a week or two.
You got to figure it out.
Let's learn something.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. I mean, it's crazy that John Lynch is actually in his press conference is considering.
I was shocked when he said I was shocked.
I mean, at this point, though, like, shouldn't you just change everything? Like, take nothing for granted. Like, change the training staff, change the training site. I mean, every variable you can think of, why don't you mess with it until you find out that, because you keep doing the same thing, you keep having the same results. This is not bad luck. Something about your program is wrong. Yeah. And there is this theory about the site of your program. Hey, you got to prove that it's not that. You can't tell me that you think it's not that. You got to prove it's not that.
But Grant, in 2023, they were playing on that same site and we were healthy almost all. That's the thing that I don't understand is 2023, we were healthy throughout the whole year. Like McCaffrey was healthy. McCaffrey played the whole year. George Kittle barely missed any games. Like we were healthy throughout that whole year.
Until
so I don't really know if you
can 1 year and 10.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's electrical substation. I don't know if it's that. I think
Greenlaw wasn't healthy. Greenlaw wasn't healthy.
He got hurt when it mattered most, and then Travis Kelce turned into prime Travis Kelce in the second half. Trust me, I remember. Like
also, someone DM me this, and like I don't know if they're scientists or not. It's an interesting theory that. I'm going to talk to the scientists about this, but there's a theory that like actually these EMF waves are like actually kind of good for you and they help you recover and it cuts down inflammation, and that when these players leave Levi's, all of a sudden the inflammation comes back because they're away from this substation, and that's when a lot of these injuries happen, away from Levi's. Greenlaw in Vegas.
True.
Bosa was at home, but Kittle was away, Purdy was away. I don't know. I think it's worth investigating. And that's all I'm saying. The Niners have to investigate everything. It's their problem, and they got to spend a lot of time and money to get it right. Finally, it's been 10 years.
Well, but the problem is a lot of this money is going to Leeds United. Jed York doesn't.
That is not an offseason priority. Leeds United. That's got to be
Leeds
down
United
the list.
Better, dude. Leeds United had such a bad year that isn't Mo Salah on the team. He's unhappy. The whole team might get like.
No,
he's not on the team.
No,
I love when you say Mo Salah.
Robert Salah might be on the team.
All right, so let's tell everyone what Christian McCaffrey said about this substation thing, and then we'll get off it. But this is Christian McCaffrey. According to Chase Sr., Christian McCaffrey is one of the 49ers players who has voiced concerns about the electrical substation being next to the Niners facility and the potential dangers of EMF. CMC and his trainer reached out to Dr. Jack Kruse about this last year. Other Niners players have as well, per Dr. Kruse. Logan Ryan was with the Niners in 2023. He said he's a believer in this theory. He said CMC and George Kittle spend millions on their bodies and take care of themselves better than anybody, and yet they've gotten injured. Delaney Walker also voiced concerns. All right, so Christian McCaffrey apparently voiced a concern.
You want to know something crazy?
What do you think, Maj? Tell me what you think.
If there's players that are concerned, why not just practice somewhere else? Oh my God, this is like I don't know. Like if players are concerned, why not practice somewhere else? It's like not rocket science. If players don't like it, players are scared.
They could go to San Jose State. They could go to Stanford. They could come to my house.
Just practice somewhere else. I don't.
What's the big deal?
Like,
I don't know.
Just move.
I mean, you guys.
It could be an experiment, right? Like, hey, we're not practicing there 1 year. If we don't have injury issues, boom, there you go, science.
There, boom, not rocket science.
Also, these players too are injury prone. They keep getting hurt. Besides Michael, but he got injured at MetLife, right? Like, so that's kind of like the Grim Reaper in terms of ACLs, right? That's that field. Christian McCaffrey's an injury-prone player, like throughout his career. I know he was great what he did this year, and he was healthy, and that's awesome. Nick Bosa, him and his brother are injured. Literally, when they breathe, they get injured. I mean, their entire career they've been injury-prone, right? George Kittle, I know people tried to cook me on X when I said this, but it seems like he's hurt every week, even when he's healthy. He's dealing with something. So, and he's old. So, like, and Trent Williams, old. Like, so I don't know. Like,
look, this isn't proof. This clearly isn't proof that this is real. But if it's real to Christian, if he takes this seriously, then that to me tells me that other players might. And here's the thing. How far away are we from the 49ers in free agency trying to sign some player who's good and has options? A lot of players offering him a lot of money, and the Niners are one of them. And he says, you know what, guys? I like your coaching staff. I like your quarterback. I like what you got going on there. It's just that you're the most injured team every year. And I don't know why. And people are talking about this weird thing next to your practice facility. And I don't know how I feel about that. All I know is that I don't want to be injured every year. So I'm going to go somewhere else that offers the same amount of money. How far away are the 49ers from dealing with that reality? Even if it's all baloney, if they have to deal with that, what are they going to do? To Maj's point, like, why don't you just move? It's not like Santa Clara is that great. It's not that I'm not dogging Santa Clara. Like, you got Chipotle, you got Chick-fil-A. That's great. You got Target. But I'm just saying there's other places that have Target too.
Why don't they just spend
Great America's not even going to be there in 3 years. They're shutting down Great America, and I don't like that.
Yeah. I don't like that either. That's a great place.
Great place.
But what? First of all, this stems from, look, the Warriors built a new stadium in San Francisco. The Giants play in San Francisco, and 49ers play an hour away, right? Or 45 minutes, whatever, depending on traffic, right? Like, I just don't understand why they ever freaking moved. Like, I get Candlestick was a dump. Okay, whatever. You could always have remodeled it. You know what I'm saying? You could have moved a stadium somewhere. Like, I don't get that to begin with. Why don't you play in the historic city where you won Super Bowls from? You know what I mean? That's number one on the list.
I agree. It's like moving Yankee Stadium to like an hour away. Like, why would you do that? You have 100 years of history here. I mean, what are you doing? Babe Ruth played here. What are you doing? Yeah, so that's like what they get. You moved away from San Francisco. You never should have done that. It was a cardinal sin. And look what happened. You moved yourself next to the substation permanently. You expanded it. And it might not even be the reason that any of this is happening. But if it's the reason that you guys move back to San Francisco, then it will have done its job. So Substation, I salute you. And I hope that the Niners are back in San Francisco in 10 years because of this hocus pocus.
Who came up with the Substation stuff? Was it just a random guy on Twitter?
I feel like Feliciano mentioned that like players were kind of talking about it. I mean,
dude, I miss Feliciano. I'm not going to lie.
Dude, if players were talking about it, just move, dude. Just move.
I miss Feliciano.
Players
that guy was
wear
honest.
the wired headphones because they're afraid of this stuff, right?
Yeah, they wear the wired headphones because it goes.
Players are superstitious, right?
Yeah,
players are superstitious, right?
Brandon, all sport. Look, Brandon's not wearing the wired ones. Brandon's brain is getting fried.
I thought he caught that pass off that dude's face in the NFC Championship game because a butterfly landed on his shoe.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but players are superstitious like that. Grant has a point, but also I can't get over Maj looking at me like a complete idiot for thinking Mo Salah was on Leeds United. It shows how much I know about soccer.
Do you understand how much trouble the Yorks are in if it's proven that they knew about this and they knew that it had potential negative effects and they didn't do anything? Do you understand how many they're selling the team? They're selling the team. And you know what? Hey,
I wouldn't mind that.
I'm just saying.
That'd be great, dude. Jed York
don't dismiss this right off the bat. The implications are incredible. New ownership back to San Francisco. Wow, a lot of players getting money. I don't know, something to think about. All right, that's enough. That's enough of that. We don't have enough science to talk any further. But Christian, good luck. All right, would you guys say that John Lynch is on the hot seat? From what I understand, his contract expires after this upcoming season. He signed through 2026. Maybe he'll get an extension before then. It seems like it's kind of a make or break year for him. What do you think? Big offseason. Is he on the hot seat?
I was definitely I'd say probably like a month ago, I was saying no, just because John Lynch, he's made this team, he's brought this team to 2 Super Bowls. He's made 2 Super Bowl teams. But then I've seen a lot of tweets. Grant, you've posted it. Other people have posted it of his drafting. It's terrible. He sucks at drafting. You made a TikTok. Since 2022, the best player he's drafted is a 7th round quarterback, the last pick in the draft. And no, they didn't expect him to be this good. So I think only way John Lynch gets a job or gets extended, he's got to hit on this draft this year. And if he doesn't, he's gone. He can't draft.
You know who John Lynch reminds me of? He reminds me of that, like, just a caricature of a person where you just he looks smart and he's confident and he's charismatic. So you kind of like a politician, like you expect him to know what he's doing, but he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He doesn't know where he is. All-time great player, doesn't know how to run a team. I mean, and I think it starts from the philosophy. And I'm not saying John Lynch deserves to be fired, but look, he's a better
I want to
GM
keep him in the organization. I want to keep him in the like.
No, that's not happening. He has too big of an ego, Maj. That ain't happening, bro. He's going somewhere else. He is. Remember, you got to understand, we're dealing with people in the 49ers organization that have bigger egos than you can buy a house in the entire world. Like Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have two of the biggest egos in sports. And that's just a fact. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's just a fact. But my point on John Lynch is like, he just looks the part. So he kind of like it, and he talks great. And he there's just like this weird thing that he has all this, the Niners have been to all these NFC championships and Super Bowls. But the fact of the matter is the philosophy hasn't worked. I made a video about this. Like every Super Bowl champion you can remember, good D-line, good O-line. People talk about Patrick Mahomes, but the Chiefs had a great D-line, great O-line. People talk about the Eagles, great O-line, great D-line. What have the Niners, they got Kyle Shanahan all of these toys. What did they refuse to build in what ended up being why they lost 2-3 Super Bowls? Well, I'm going to say 2 because obviously the Harbaugh team was different. 2 with Kyle Shanahan. Trench play. They lost because Burford missed the block. They lost because their O-line stinks. They lost because they couldn't get pressure on the quarterback with 4 players, right? Like, that's how the Eagles beat the Chiefs. You can rush 4 and still get pressure, right? Like, they can't do that shit. They've never been able to do that shit.
I think John Lynch feels like he's been a success because of the players he has signed to long-term deals. Like, he feels he's put together an elite core, and he'll point to Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Diamador Lenore. And he's like, look, I put a team together and any team would be proud of that. But the problem is that's a very expensive old core. And what he has to do now to keep this team in contention, which he hasn't done yet, is draft super well at a lot of positions. And what he has done consistently for 10 years, 4 or 5 years ago, it didn't matter his drafting because they weren't paying for a quarterback and they could go out and trade or sign for whoever they needed. But now they have to hit in the draft. And what he's been doing for 10 years is reaching for need. He does it in round 1, in round 2, in round 3, and he reaches for needs. And he can, if you look at his draft history, anytime he makes a pick, look in the next 5 to 20 picks, there's multiple players who were better that he didn't go after because he thought he had a need, when you should be addressing needs like in free agency with drafts. I mean, he if he keeps doing that, he's gonna get let go. He has 1 year left on his deal. He has to knock this draft out of the park. He won't because he can't. And I believe that out of respect, they won't fire him because he's been here for a long time and he's a Hall of Famer, but I don't think they will renew his contract in 2027 if he blows it again this offseason, which is kind of what he does.
Grant, do you think if there's like the best player, so Grant, what do you like if there's the best player available, but there's also a guard available, are you saying to pick the best player available, even if it's a tight end, wide receiver? Like, you're saying pick them, or are you saying pick, like, go trenches?
I'm saying, like, round 1 this past year, he took Mykel Williams, who fit a need. Was he the best player available? No. Was he a good player? Yes. Yeah. But he was not the best player available. He took Ricky Pearsall in round 1. He filled a need. Was he the best player available? No.
DeJean. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and on and on and on. Trey Lance, was he the best player available? Not even close, but you wanted a quarterback. You felt you needed a quarterback. Mike McGlinchey, not the best player available.
Maybe John Lynch thinks he's the best drafter. Like, you know what? I'm going to shock the world. I'm going to draft this Pearsall guy. Watch what he does.
You took Javon Kinlaw over Tristan Wirfs and Justin Jefferson.
The problem
you can't do that, and you've been doing it for 10 years.
The issue here is, and Grant hit it right on the money, is Lynch can't draft. That's obvious. And the issue is the Seahawks and the Rams, they have better GMs because what did they do? Let's draft the best player available, right? JSN. Did we need a wide receiver at the time? We had DK Metcalf, who was coming off a big year, Tyler Lockett, but JSN was right there. Hey, we're going to take this guy. Witherspoon, they had a need at corner, but he fell to them. They took him, right? Byron Murphy. They didn't really have, I mean, they had a need, but he was the best player available. Let's take him. Nick Emenworry. They traded up. They're like, this guy's available. Let's trade up for Nick Emenworry. Even though we have Julian Love, let's go and get Nick Emenworry. We can play him as a linebacker, like a Kyle Hamilton type of guy, a safety linebacker, like in Mike McDonald's system in Baltimore. Let's go get him. Rams. And here's the difference between Les Snead and John Lynch. And I think this is a very important point. Les Snead said, F the picks, went all in, got Matt Stafford. The Niners were cheap. They didn't want to go get Matt Stafford. That's number one. Number two, after the Rams won a Super Bowl and their depth was completely torched, Les Snead said, look, we drafted Puka Nacua. That was excellent. Now it's time to retool. And they went trenches. D-line with Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Byron Young. And they signed a few good offensive linemen once they had cap space. That's how you do it. The Bears last year, they signed Ryan Poles, got a lot of shit. But what did he do last year that made the Bears contend? He said, look, we got money now. Let's spend that shit all on O-line. And the Niners continue to not spend on the offensive line. They don't draft trenches, and they don't know when to retool. Like, the Rams saw that these guys were old as shit. Jalen Ramsey, get him the fuck out of here. Aaron Donald retired, get him out. Like, let's get younger. We only have Matt Stafford. Everyone else, let's get younger. And John Lynch is just like, oh, Christian's a great guy. He's an all-time great. George Kittle's a great guy, all-time great. Trent Williams, 39. He can probably play till 41. Like, I'm sick and tired of it. The Seahawks average age on offense is 26, and they're about to go to a Super Bowl probably. Like, this shit it's not games anymore. You're paying a quarterback $53 million a year. You got to hit on shit now.
I find it interesting how the Niners want to be the Seahawks from 10, 15 years ago. I mean, they keep talking about that system and Gus Bradley, but they really have turned into the Seahawks from about 10 years ago, in the sense that, like, back when Russell Wilson was one of the highest paid players in the league, and they still had older Richard Sherman and older Earl Thomas and older Cam Chancellor and older Bobby Wagner and Tyler Lockett. And you had this core group of dudes who were making hella money and had been there a while. And it's like, they didn't draft well for about 5 years. They fell way behind. The Niners and Rams overtook them. And then what they finally did to jumpstart their rebuild and what they are now is trade Russell Wilson. Yeah, they traded Russell and of course fire Pete Carroll a few years later, but they traded Russell Wilson for 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and finally they weren't so top heavy. So my question is, do you think the 49ers will ever trade Brock Purdy?
What will they or should they? There are two different questions.
Do you think Brock Purdy ends his career on the Niners, or do you think there's a world where he gets traded in a couple of years?
You go first, Maj.
What team's going to take him though?
That's a good point.
What team's going to take that contract? Raiders? Maybe Fernando
Mendoza. A couple of years, there's no guaranteed money left on it. You could sort of move some stuff around.
Well, who's going to want him? Like, let's be real. The guy's out of the league.
Someone wanted Russell Wilson
drafted by the Jets. Brock Purdy's out of the NFL by now if he gets drafted by the Jets. And I know that's a lot of quarterbacks, but the fact of the matter is, yes, he's a great anticipation thrower. Yes, he's an above-average quarterback in Kyle's system. What happens if he went to the Jets or if he went to I don't know, name a team, the Titans? He wouldn't look good. No, but there's a reason there was background done before they gave Brock Purdy the contract. And Grant can talk about this. There were guys, their executives talking to other executives. Would you trade for Brock Purdy? What would you do for Brock Purdy? And there was no interest around the league with Brock Purdy. Nobody wants him because they know, even though he's a very good quarterback, he's undersized. He doesn't have a good arm, and his best trait is anticipation throwing. And he kind of needs a good system to get the most out of him, right? Like, so will they trade Brock Purdy? No, they're going to treat this guy like Steph Curry, never win a Super Bowl, and for the next 10 years, just be mediocre and say, hey, we have a good quarterback that stat pads because you have Kyle Shanahan's system. And I'm sick and tired of it. The smart thing would be to and I love Brock Purdy, but they paid him $52 million a year. The thing is, John Lynch can't draft. If you're going to keep John Lynch and keep Kyle Shanahan, you better get a quarterback on a rookie contract or very cheap. Otherwise, it won't work. It won't work.
Well, here's why I feel like Brock Purdy may not be on this team long term. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have both said that Brock Purdy is going to be the last quarterback they have on the 49ers, which sounds like they believe in him and they expect him to be here for 15 years. It also sounds like maybe Jed York told him this is the last quarterback you're going to have, and if it doesn't work out, you guys are all gone. So it seems to me that, if this doesn't work out, if if the Niners let John Lynch's contract expire, if they let Kyle Shanahan's contract expire, and it's just Brock Purdy here on his own, I don't know that the Niners would necessarily want to pay him $53 million a year without Kyle Shanahan. They've said that he's a top 10 quarterback with Kyle Shanahan. So if those guys stick around, Brock probably sticks around. But if they leave, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to trade him. And I mean, if the Broncos could trade Russell Wilson for all that, maybe the Niners would have a chance because a lot of people run this system. But if
there
not,
might be a dumb team,
then they might have to freaking cut him, and that would be too bad.
There might be a dumb team that, like, there's some pretty bad organizations. Maybe they take a swing on Brock.
I think we're getting to the point, and I think this is something that you guys will agree with me on. I think we're getting to the point where we may have to just pray that they can win a Super Bowl once Brock's contract is up. Because I don't know if they can win a Super Bowl paying Brock $53 million.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
if they knew how to draft
in the next 2 years, that they can put together a Super Bowl contender with that contract. And it's not just the quarterback, it's the contract. And the Seahawks could never do it with Russell Wilson on that contract. They went to the Super Bowls when he was cheaper, but when they couldn't do it. And eventually they figured it out. We're not drafting well enough. He's got to go. And I wonder if the Niners ever get to that point as well, because they could get rid of John Lynch, bring in another personnel guy 2027, give it one last chance with a real GM and Kyle Shanahan and Brock, and see if they can actually draft well enough to put together a team. But other than that, maybe they need to stop paying so much for the quarterback position.
Biggest thing is they have to draft better if they want. It's the biggest thing, they have to draft better.
It's plain and simple. I mean, this is a year that's going to be. And again, I'm not trying to diss Brock Purdy. I'm stating a fact. He is a top 10 quarterback with Kyle Shanahan. There's no doubt about it. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but he's not elite. And the issue is when you pay a quarterback $50+ million a year, that's not elite. To win a Super Bowl, you have to ace all of your picks, and that's what the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts. They have a quarterback who's not elite, making $50+ million, but they aced all of their picks. That's the difference. Howie Roseman aced his picks.
Here's the Brock Purdy experience. When he goes up against a bad to mediocre defense, he lights them up and has people talking for the week that he's the best player in the league and maybe he should be the MVP. But every time he faces a really, really elite defense, the results are subpar. Yeah. And that's just the start. The other part is that you don't know if he can play the whole season. And so the idea of trading Mac Jones, like, he's probably one of your best trade chips on the roster. You have 800 needs, and you're hesitating about trading him because Brock Purdy might miss 5 games. And so you need this excellent starting caliber player on the bench who you could trade to get a different starting caliber player at a position that you actually need. That's not great. That's not what you want from your franchise guy.
No.
And
he's small, and he doesn't see the field that well, and he throws a lot of picks.
Yeah, but it's the Niners' fault for not winning a Super Bowl with him on his rookie contract, because they had more than one opportunity to do that, and they choked because of the lack of priorities within the organization. And the Trey Lance trade, because they had no depth. Once guys went down, there was no chance. And you saw that
he also choked a little bit too. Like, it's not like he was throwing touchdown passes in the fourth quarter or overtime. Like, he got in the red zone and missed Brandon Ayuk multiple times. Brandon Ayuk's probably somewhere still pissed off about that. And they kicked field goals and lost. So he wasn't bad, but he wasn't good enough.
I think there's an argument that he outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that game, but neither were good. Neither were good in that game. Neither.
Mahomes was
pretty left the field and we were winning the game.
Drive. He was better on the final drive than Purdy was. And I just can't get over Purdy. Like, it was 2 times. The first third down when Ayuk was open on the slant on the left,
wide open,
and the second one when he was open in the end zone. Now, in Brock's defense, there was an unblocked Chris Jones right in his face, but the other one, he predetermined to throw to Jennings, and I still think that Ayuk has never forgiven him for that.
The problem with Brock too is he gets tunnel vision on receivers. Like, he's only going to go off the first read. Like, he knows he's throwing the ball to Jennings, that's going there. So that's why Ayuk was part of the reason why I was so pissed, is because he was open every play. He's one of the best separators in the league. Say what you want about him as a person and as a teammate, but he was always open, and Brock just kept throwing it to Jennings. Even he loves Jennings. That's why I want him to let Jennings walk, just so Brock can't throw to a 5.0 40-time receiver every play.
Jennings is supposed to get like $22 million this free agent. Like, if we sign him, dude,
if we sign Jennings for $22 million a year, and I'm saying we as a fan, the 49ers, they should never be allowed to be good again if they give Jennings $22 million a year.
Yeah,
like that is career
disgusting.
suicide by everybody in the front office.
I don't think they will. I feel like the Niners of old would give Juwan Jennings what he wanted because Kyle Shanahan gets sentimental and he kind of develops friendships with these players. And I do think he's friends with Juwan Jennings.
But now after the Ayuk thing,
and Ricky too, I feel like that was very much a Kyle Shanahan pick. Like, trust me, this guy reminds me of me. He really said that. I feel like the organization is a little bit like, you know what, Kyle, just wants you to just focus on coaching right now. Remember, the first 5 picks last year were defense. I feel like Saleh made the first 5 picks, and that was by design.
Did you see what Ricky Pearsall's doing though? Ricky Pearsall, he's writing notes. He's taking notes on everybody. He's gonna come back next year.
Ricky likes me though. I'm cool, Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky seems like a great guy, by the way. I actually
feel like
root for the
being
guy.
a little hard on Ricky, man. Like, he tried to play through a PCL injury. A lot of guys don't try to do that. Now, does that mean they need to give him a starting job and that he definitely can be a good NFL player? No, but he might. I mean, he was good for a month.
I think people are just mad because they see how good he is, and then he just keeps getting injured. And it's like, dude, this guy has so much potential to be so good, but he just can't stay on the field.
You guys keep going for 2 minutes. I'm gonna have to hop off because Pittsburgh just hired Mike McCarthy as their head coach, and I'm gonna have to make a quick TikTok about it, and I'll be right back.
Crazy. Okay.
So is that okay with you guys? I'll hop off for 2 minutes.
That's fine. Do you think?
You're good. Wait, Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. At least an NFL team. I like retreads. Just go be a coach at some college.
I was thinking the Steelers were going to hire the Sean McDermott guy. I thought they were going to hire him.
I think the Niners should hire Sean McDermott as their defensive coordinator. That would be cool.
No, we're going to go Gus Bradley. It's going to be Gus Bradley.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. So exciting.
All right, Maj, let me ask you this. How many more years do you think the Niners will give Kyle Shanahan to win a Super Bowl before they part ways with him? And let me just say, I believe his contract goes through 2027. So 2 more seasons under contract. They could fire him before then. They could extend him right now, but they haven't. So, I mean, if he wins a Super Bowl next year, I'm sure he'll be here for a very long time. What do you think? How many more years does he have to win this Super Bowl?
I don't know how many years. I do like. I think we have to stop talking about Kyle getting fired because we see all these head coaches getting fired. I think if Kyle Shanahan were to get fired, there would be 31 NFL teams trying to get this guy. Grant, I know you want him fired, but who would you want?
That happened with John Harbaugh, right? Like the Ravens fired him.
Exactly.
He was like instantly the number 1 candidate, and then he went to the Giants.
And I think,
but does that mean that the Ravens regret it?
Do I think the Ravens regret it?
I mean, just because you fire a coach who's employable and popular, I'm sure they're happy with their decision. Doesn't mean they're right.
No, but I do think Shanahan's better than Harbaugh. Like Shanahan's a coach of the year candidate. Like, you don't just get rid of a guy like this. If the Niners are crap in the bed the next couple of years, then maybe you think about it. It's just he's too good of a coach to get rid of. Like, and I know even if he does bad, it's just who are you going to replace Kyle Shanahan with? You're going to get a guy, he's probably going to be ass, and you're going to have to fire him, and we're going to be like the freaking Titans hiring a new coach every year. And I don't want to go through that.
Maybe. I think there is a little bit of pressure on him. I feel like the fact that he has 2 years left on his deal and hasn't gotten an extension yet is kind of interesting. They have extended him with 3 years left on his deal multiple times. So I feel like what the front office is doing with John and Kyle is saying, look, we've signed all the vets you want. And for us to get to the next level, you need to draft really well. So we'll give you a few years. We'll let Upton Stout develop. We'll let Micah Williams develop. And we'll let these contracts play out. But if we're not going anywhere, if we're getting further away from the Super Bowl, then we'll have to acknowledge that you guys.
And I think they'd have to make a change. That's what I'm saying.
If they're like good, you just can't do it. You can't win the Super Bowl. So I feel like Kyle has 2 more years. And maybe if he goes to the Super Bowl and loses in overtime again, they'll make some type of, concession for him. But I think he got 2 years. You got the franchise quarterback. You've got all these draft picks. You got time. You got 2 more years, man. Win a Super Bowl. Otherwise, if there's another Ben Johnson, if there's another up-and-coming coach, or the Niners might just want to be like, we got to rebuild, man. Look, we've given you all this time. You still have Juszczyk on the field. He's 37. You still have Trent Williams. He's 42. Like, you haven't built anything new. The Seahawks have beaten you 7 times in a row. Like, I don't know what to tell you, Kyle. Like, you're just not what you were 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, maybe they would get tired of him and want to change it up. It's just like, I think it's because the Niner fan in me, but it's like, it's so hard to switch up on a guy like Kyle just because he's been a great coach. But you are right. Like, against Mike McDonald, he chokes all the time. So it's like, maybe we could find someone better. Like
game management's always an issue. Injuries are always an issue. You got a coach in your division who kind of owns you. You can't come from behind in the fourth quarter.
He owns him. Mike McDonald owns Kyle Shanahan.
Owns. Yeah.
He owns.
And what's weird is that Sean McVay owns Mike McDonald. Like Sean McVay has put up great numbers. Matthew Stafford's put up great numbers. I think he's only thrown 1 pick against that defense, whereas like Purdy's thrown 9. I mean, including the Baltimore Ravens defense that had Mike McDonald. It's very strange.
I'm not making an injury excuse, but we did see what the Niners team did to that Seahawks team when they were healthy. We beat them, and yeah, it was like a stupid Purdy toss to the back of the end zone, and Ton just caught the ball. But it's like maybe when we're out, like
that's true.
Maybe when we're healthy, we could be Mike McDonald. We did it this year. When we're unhealthy, we got killed. So
see, the way I look at it is like you played Mike McDonald in 2024 at home, scored 17 points and lost.
Yeah.
You played Mike McDonald week 1, scored 17 points and won somehow in a game you probably shouldn't have won. And you played him again and it was worse. You got smacked, and you played him again and they smacked you even worse. It feels like it's going the wrong direction. Like they're a young team, and the more they get to face Kyle Juszczyk and that tricky dash motion, they're like, okay, we get it. And I feel like now they're pretty much at like, okay, they're pointing stuff out as the routes are happening. Like they know the plays before they happen. That's how much they seem to own the Niners right now. They need to evolve. They need to change. Kyle needs some new stuff.
Kyle does need new stuff. And that's the thing about Kyle that's annoying. Like that pitch play to Juszczyk, and then Juszczyk had to pitch it to McCaffrey. That was so stupid. On the 4th and 1 or whatever. That was the dumbest play call ever. When has he ever done that? And you're doing that against an elite defense? Like that's stupid.
It felt like by the end of the season, like his best plays were trick gadget plays. Like you beat Philly because Jawan Jennings threw a touchdown pass. Like that's great, man. And it's great to win one game that way, but that can't be the ace up your sleeve every single week. Like where's your actual offense?
Nobody
it's great defenses.
He's done these, I forget what the play is called, but it's like the one where he pitched it back, and then it was like, I don't know, I think it was Purdy that threw the ball, and it was like to DeMarcus Robinson, and DeMarcus Robinson got like 4 yards. He did that the past 2 Seahawks games. It's like he just doesn't switch anything up, and I think Kyle gets two in his head in big games. Like honestly, I think he's scared of Mike McDonald now. Like he's scared because he doesn't know how to play call. He sucks against the Seahawks. It's terrible.
That's what I'm saying, man. Look, I know he's a good coach. That's undeniable. He's a very good coach. But we just saw 3 good coaches get pushed out in Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, and Sean McDermott. And there's differences between them and Kyle Shanahan. But the fact is,
I think Shanahan's
the longest tenured coach in the league without a ring. And, he's going into year 10 without a ring. And if he gets to year 11 without a ring, at a certain point,
you got to switch it up.
I mean, Andy Reid had to leave Philly. Like, and I don't think Philly feels they made the wrong call there. I think they felt, it's not happening with you. You're sort of stale. Your voice is stale. You got to go somewhere else and reinvent yourself. And we need a different voice in a different direction. It worked out for both of them. I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners get there at some point. I could also see him extending him again and keeping him for 20 years. But this is the organization that fired Seifert after 8 years and fired Walsh after 10. It would look bad to keep Kyle Shanahan for 25 years with no ring. Eventually, you got to break through. Everyone does. Otherwise, you got to go somewhere else.
I agree. It's just that, like, again, that's just the thing I'm scared about. You fire Shanahan, and it's like, who are you going to get after that? Like, yeah, there could be another Ben Johnson, but what happens if you hire him and he's ass, and then you got to fire another coach and you got to bring in another guy? I hate the teams that do that. Piss me off. Like the Titans.
What about this though? Let's say you move on from Kyle in 2 years.
Okay.
And you can't get a coach. You can't get an offensive coach as good as Kyle because he's so good. But what you can get is a great GM because Kyle isn't there telling him what to do. You can try to build the team a different way. Bring in a great GM and actually hit on picks for a change as opposed to the entire Shanahan era. And then maybe a slightly lesser coach can win with a better roster and you actually get the ring. And that's all that you freaking care about. I mean, it's something to think about. Because I feel like as long as Kyle's here, you're going to have John Lynch as the GM. Let's be honest.
That's what I was thinking. I was going to say if John Lynch gets extended or something, then Kyle's going to be here. There's no way they're going to separate.
If we could try a year or two with Kyle and a real GM, I would be very open to that. Is Kyle open to that? That I'd like to see.
And now
but
that
if he's
we
not open to
Purdy,
that, then what's up?
Like we paid Purdy. We got to start drafting good. Like if I'm Shanahan and John Lynch, like, hey, I want to extend Purdy. It's like, okay, well, we got to start hitting on draft picks. Like they got to hit this year. If they don't hit, Lynch is screwed. I like that's maybe the one thing that like if they don't like how many years does Shanahan have left? Two. If they don't hit on these next 2 drafts, then maybe it's time to get rid of.
What about this? What about this? Let's say Kyle continues to not invest in the offensive line. Okay, and let's say Brock gets hurt. It's football. Him making all this money. A lot of times, I mean, when franchise quarterbacks go down, you look at like who's responsible. Like, what kind of offensive line is this? Who put this offensive line together? I mean, if he's never, ever, ever gonna make an attempt to put together a top 10 offensive line, and Brock gets hurt, you could say like, well, maybe you know, you're a very smart guy, but maybe we could actually do better if we had a coach like Ben Johnson or anyone who actually prioritizes the offensive line. We owe that to Brock because we feel Brock can be truly elite with time.
Do you think that's the biggest need in the draft? Like, do you think the Niners should go round 1 draft? Because I think the best guard at that position is the guy from Penn State. So if he's there, do you think the Niners should draft him? Like, that's the biggest need?
It worked for Seattle. I mean, Steve Young made the point the other day on the radio saying that Trent Williams at 38 can't be your best offensive lineman. And I think that's right on. I mean, he'll be your best offensive lineman for 13, 14, 15 games. But when it gets serious and it's December and January, chances are he'll be hurt or playing through something. So if they needed to get a guard who could become a tackle or just a great guard, whoever's great on the offensive line, you got to. And I feel like if Kyle is unwilling to make that investment, then maybe the Niners could say, like, we want to stick with Brock. We're choosing Brock over Kyle because we feel like with a real offensive line that Kyle will never – we love Kyle's system, but what we like better is time for Brock because Brock's that special and he can go off script. Anyway, Brandon's back.
The biggest thing for me is why don't the Niners draft –
Can you guys hear me? Here, let me take off my –
Yeah. I don't understand why the Niners don't draft an offensive lineman. Like, you realize you have the best left tackle in the league. Why not draft a lineman and let him learn under Trent Williams? Like you got literally have the best left tackle in the league. If you draft a high offensive lineman in round 1 or 2, they can learn off of Trent Williams. But instead of
philosophy, they've said it. Chris Forster used to really reveal these things, but he said, you know, we want to invest in players who either hit the quarterback or score touchdowns. That's pretty much their philosophy. And like, I don't like it. I feel like you got to be strong on both sides of the trenches, not just one side. And frankly, they're not strong on either side of the trenches.
And instead, they're drafting freaking Connor Colby. Like,
they drafted 2 offensive linemen high in this regime. Both guys went to Notre Dame. Both guys were weak. Mike McGlinchey and Aaron Banks, and that's their fault. And they're like scared about drafting offensive. Stop taking the worst Notre Dame offensive lineman. You missed on the good ones. Yes. Don't take that. Yeah.
If the Penn State guard is there, you draft him because he's probably the best guard, if not one of the best guards.
I don't think they will. I don't think they will. You want to know why? His zone grade is like 81 on PFF, and his run block grade is less than his pass block grade. And I think
he allowed like 0 sacks or something.
I know, but I know what Kyle loves. He's gonna want a run blocker and a guy that can run that has a high zone grade.
I either want the guy from Penn State or the tight end from Oregon.
Kenyon Sadiq can't block.
Dude, but he's not gonna. So good.
I know, but it's just not gonna happen.
Hey, we have Luke Farrell to block.
By the way, did you see the Rossini thing just now, Grant? That apparently 49ers offensive coordinator Clay Kubiak has removed himself from consideration for head coaching vacancies. The Raiders and Steelers had requested to interview him. He prefers to keep working with Kyle Shanahan.
Bang!
Let's go. This guy's good. This guy's good. Don't just jump at the first job don't go to the Raiders. Why would you go to the Raiders? They'll fire you maybe in 3 years. If you're lucky, could be 1 or 2. And then you're coming right back to the 49ers with the blemish on your record. Don't do it. And the fact that he's like getting interest and turning it down makes him seem like cool. Makes him seem like, maybe next year he'll get even more interest and he might.
Saleh should have done. That's what Saleh should have done.
That's what Ben Johnson did a few years ago, remember?
Yeah, he did it. Yeah.
I think it's different for Saleh. You're a defensive coach. You got to jump at your opportunity, man. It's harder for defensive coaches.
Yeah, you're not going to get Titans. You're jumping at the Titans. Like that's so
man.
The Titans my whole life have not been good.
I like Cam Ward. That's all I have to say about that.
He's good. He was throwing a McDonald's.
From Saleh's perspective, it's like he thinks he's DeMeco Ryans. Like, what's the difference? We were the same coach. I mentored DeMeco Ryans. And DeMeco went to Houston, same division, had a terrible team, built up the defense really fast, and he was successful because he had C.J. Stroud, who's a solid quarterback. He used to be better. I feel like Saleh's saying, like, I could do the same thing. Like, now I have a quarterback who's better than Stroud. I could build up the defense. I could have a better team than the Texans, and I'm sure that's what he told the Titans. I'm sure that's what he told.
He better hope that Brian Daboll doesn't get the Bills job so that he can be the OC for the team.
That concerned me when he said he wants Daboll to be his offensive coordinator. Like, you don't know Daboll. What are you
Brian Daboll?
Well, who else is going to be his OC?
I mean, I guess they were in the same building in New York because Daboll was the Giants and he was the Jets. I guess
Brian Daboll. I just got.
But isn't it interesting that he's not going for a Shanahan guy and D'Amico fired the Shanahan guy and brought in a guy from the Patriots? I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
Brian
and that
Daboll's
doesn't make Kyle look good. Doesn't help.
Brian Daboll's interviewing with the Raiders right now. I just saw it.
God, that's a terrible job, dude.
God.
I know that Brady wanted Flores. Daboll's another Patriots guy. Brady wants to bring in a Patriots guy because it's the culture he knows. And it's funny that none of them really want to go there because it's the freaking Raiders. All right, guys. There was a report on Twitter, on X, that the Niners might be interested in a reunion with Deebo Samuel.
Yeah,
he just turned 30.
Let's do it.
He went to the Commanders and had the exact same season he had in 2024 with the 49ers, minus socking a long snapper. So what do you guys think?
Dude, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Give him all the money. Let's go, Deebo. I love Deebo. Do you guys remember 2021? He was so good. Let's bring him back. He's only 30.
That was a great year. I love 2021.
2021 was only 5 years ago. It was only 5 years ago. Bring him back. Maybe he can return to his prime once again. Bring him back. Let's go.
In Deebo in like football years is like 40 years old because he played like 12 playoff games, and he was like utilized like a running back.
I'm so afraid this is going to happen.
No, this should not happen.
No, I'm so afraid this is going to happen.
Grant,
like Juwan will sign somewhere else, and Kyle's like, "Oh my god, dude, we need a 30-year-old wide receiver who knows my system, dude. We can't get Kendrick Bourne. We can't get Juwan. What about Deebo?
Jordan Watkins? No, Jordan Watkins. You're going to sit behind.
No. We'll talk to you when you're 30, Jordan.
Yeah.
He already gave Grant the fake out. Oh, we need speed. We're going to get faster. Let's sign Deebo there. Let's do the end.
Fast 4 years ago. He's so slow. No, the biggest
I would not be surprised if this happens, man.
No, they can't do this, dude. They can't do this. This is so. We saw. There's no way they're
rather than get Deebo or Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison.
Addison.
Give me a guy that's been in a DUI
every week.
Give me a guy that's been
in. He can separate at receiver. They don't have anybody else who can separate at receiver.
I don't give a shit. Listen, I don't give a shit. Jordan Addison's been in jail. Give me Jordan Addison. Please.
Okay.
That's a USC guy.
I just wanted to put that out there. There are better options than Deebo Samuel. And again, Kyle, please I'm daring you to break the stereotype that you just like 30-year-old wide receivers who know your system, man. And
he's going to. He's actually going to do it.
Prove me wrong.
He's going to do it. Deebo's going to be a Niner.
Getting Deebo cheap if they get Jordan Addison. Like, because then Deebo can just do the yards after catch shit once Addison is. Because the problem with Deebo, too, last year was when Ayuk wasn't out there and they didn't have a receiver that could separate, everyone was keying in on Deebo. And the only way Deebo works is if you have another wide receiver that can separate at this point in his career, that'll allow the defense to back off for Deebo to get the yards after catch.
I have a hot take with Deebo. Even at his best, he's the kind of player you wanted to pair with a bad quarterback. Because the whole thing with Deebo is like, okay, my quarterback can't make throws, and we don't trust him. So, hey, man, why don't you just toss it over here to Deebo or throw it behind the line of scrimmage? You literally don't have to throw into coverage. But, like, a really good quarterback who can hit guys 30 yards down the field, like, pinpoint. Man, you throw that ball to Deebo, he's dropping it. So, to me, he used to be, like, the easy button for a quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think Brock really needs Deebo Samuel, especially this version of him.
Yeah, Deebo sucks.
Raiders. Like we're not gonna see Brock play like to the level he did in 23 without a separator at receiver. Like we're just not. Like, he needs one.
I don't think you should bring back
man-to-man coverage.
I don't think you should.
The numbers are in. Brock is way better against zone than man, and he's gonna keep getting more man-to-man coverage than he wants to see unless they have Jordan Addison or someone like that.
They need.
And do you think the Niners? Do you think the Niners should bring back a guy that punched his own teammate? Probably not. Probably not. That's not probably
There's that.
I don't know, dude. You want to hear a hot take?
You liked it. I already know. Or you liked when he did that or something.
No. I think they need to retire the boombox, man, until you win a Super Bowl.
It's corny.
It's so bad. And without now it's worse. No, dude. No. To me, I don't think you can talk shit till you win Super Bowls. Like, why is that boombox out there acting like you're tough when you choke?
They're getting hype, bro. They're all tough.
It fit back in 2022 when they were the team that would beat you up, and the next week you were so sore you couldn't win. I mean, that used to be that team, but they're not that team anymore.
Yeah,
like you just got physically manhandled and dominated by Seattle. Yeah,
it's tough. It's so tough when they walk up.
Lenore needs to stop running his mouth, bro. Like I love Lenore, but dude, why are you shut up, dude?
Yeah, there's a way to do it, and after the game being like, we would have won if we were healthy. Like, don't. That's not.
Shut up. But
don't
you weren't.
do that.
You weren't, dude. That's like blaming the refs. I hate when people blame. Yes, Fred Warner was chop blocked. Yes, Nick Bosa was held. But guess what? Kyle Shanahan should have been up 10 points in both of those Super Bowls.
I will say though, I like that he put the pressure on Robert Saleh to have him shadow JSN, and I think Saleh wussed out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How about that? I'm on Lenore's side on that one, and I'm hoping the next DC does a better job with Lenore, because Saleh's plan for Lenore all year was it didn't get the best out of your best DB. You didn't.
As long as Luter's not out there, we're good. I never want to see that guy again.
I want to jump the guy from Indiana. Poles?
No. Pons. Yeah, but then you have 2 5'9" corners, bro. I love Pons, but like you can't have 2 5'9" corners.
These guys are
tough. Right, we got some super chats, guys. We got some supers. Two-Man the Great says, not surprised CMC believes in the substation considering he wears wired headphones still. LOL.
Protects the brain. Gotta respect it.
It's not that he necessarily believes in it. He just doesn't necessarily disbelieve it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Two-Man the Great says, I like Lynch, but if Kyle is the de facto GM, then what's he actually doing? Jed would know. Jed should answer that one. Javid says, we have no young core. Someone needs to be responsible. I agree. And it's easy to make the GM responsible. That's his job. Viagra Specialist says, Niners whiffing on Matt Stafford still haunts me.
Viagra Specialist.
And Brady and Mahomes. KRNA RMG says, the best thing about this whole electrical substation story is that if it's real, the class action lawsuit the Yorks will face will be great, and they might have to sell the team. That crossed my mind.
That. Yeah, you said that.
Good point.
It's only if they prove that the Yorks had knowledge that it was real. If they didn't know because no one knew, then
they knew
there won't be a lawsuit. All day, every day. Kim says, what's the real difference between Stefanski and Kyle besides one coach is a historical, terrible franchise? They almost seem like the same dude.
I disagree with that one.
Yeah.
Tremendously. I like Stefanski. Kyle is one of the best play callers in the league, and he only struggles against 3-4 coaches. The problem is he's going to have to play those 3 or 4 coaches in the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
I think Stefanski's a damn good play caller. Every time I watched the Browns, I was like, he's the only reason the game isn't 0 to 100. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
He's not better.
Sucks. And he had to take over the Deshaun Watson teams. And he stayed there for a long time.
But he did have Shedeur Sanders, and Shedeur Sanders is very good.
He's incredible. He's the best.
Hey, how about Harold Fannin? Can we get him? Can we trade for him?
No, it's cool. They got Jake Tonjes. And Luke Farrell.
Harold Fannin so bad. Oh my
God.
God.
Farrell's one of the worst signings in the league last year. They gave him a 3-year deal like he meant something.
Dude, that effort on the interception, I would have cut him right there and ate the dead cap hit.
Luke Farrell has tattoos.
It was bad effort, but at the same time, Brock, who did you think you were throwing to him? Did you think that was George?
Away. That's what Brock does. He forces it into coverage. He's
okay, but Luke Farrell has some pretty cool tattoos. That's probably why they paid him that much.
Brock was like, "Is that Luke Farrell? Oh, that's my guy.
I'm gonna throw the ball to him. He's not even gonna
throw it to him. Kyle,
he's not even gonna battle for the ball.
I like his family. Let's throw him the ball.
Yeah.
All right, it's prize picks time. Let's get some prize picks. Hold on. Wait, there's Maj. There's Brandon. There's the prize picks. Where's the prize picks? Here's the prize picks. All right. Championship game prize picks. There they are. Let's go both.
Jared Stidham, more. That's all I want to say.
Jared Stidham 203.
Dude, do y'all not remember Jared Stidham against us like 2 years ago? Dude, the guy's actually not bad.
I have kind of a crazy take. I think Stidham's going to play really well, and I think the Broncos are going to win.
I have the same take. I have the same take, and the reason is their defense is killer, and Bo Nix isn't good anyway, and they all they do is throw a bunch of screens. So what's the difference going to be?
Exactly.
They both went to Auburn,
and Drake May has been bad the last few weeks.
Terrible. They should have lost last week, but CJ Stroud is terrible.
Horrible, dude.
All right. Speaking of Drake May, 223.5 passing yards, more or less?
Under.
Less.
My bad. Less.
All right. Matthew Stafford, 255.5 passing yards, more or less.
Less.
No. This
Why?
is gonna be a shootout. I'd go more. Yeah, bro.
I mean, he threw for 457 against Seattle a month ago.
Holy crap, more.
By the way, the Rams are
McDonald's good, but he doesn't own the Rams like he owns the Niners.
Rams are
Sam Darnold,
absolutely winning that
232.5. His oblique supposed to be good?
Less.
I would say less. I don't know.
Who's gonna win that
I think Darnold's gonna have a
Rams.
stinker.
Rams are gonna win. Even though I wish both teams.
I got Rams Broncos.
What a terrible Super Bowl. What a terrible Super
Bowl. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 91.5 receiving yards, more or less.
More. Gotta go more.
If Darnold's getting less than 232.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. JSN's kind of been bad for weeks. He just cooked Darrell Luter.
19. Yeah, you know, give me less. Give me less. Screw JSN. Give me less.
Like, dude, your grandpa
Puka, 92.5.
Luter out there.
More.
He went for 225 against
Seattle's his bitch, bro. He's going crazy. I like Puka Nacua, bro. I mean, contrary to a lot of Niner fans, I actually really like Puka Nacua.
All right, those are our picks. We're flexing it, submitting it. Download Prize Picks. Use promo code COHN. Play $5, get $50 instantly in lineups when you use my promo code. Double B Studio says, what was this team one Brandon away from making the Super Bowl?
No.
I think so. If they had Brandon Deutsch, they had Brandon Ayuk.
I'm still 6'6", 245. Maybe I could play tight end better than Luke Farrell. Who knows?
Brandon Deutsch.
Who knows? I could play Luke Farrell's spot. I would have given more effort for that ball.
Probably. It's not that hard.
The fact that Luke Farrell's under contract for 2 more years and he's one of the tight ends, like if only they had good tight ends, they could do the thing that the Rams do, you know. But I like Tonjes though. I do.
Yeah. After that fumble,
there's a hard cap in the NFL because I can only imagine that the Niners, if it was like the MLB, they'd overpay for all these guaranteed contracts. It'd be bad forever.
Yeah,
the fumble was bad. He tried to be George Kittle for a second. It was like Jake.
I like Jake Tonjes, low key. Yeah. I like him, bro. I think he's pretty good.
He's pretty good. Emphasis on pretty.
Pretty.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's the show. I'm gonna go do some scientific tests of the substation and see what my calculations determine. So hang tight. Well, first I have to get a PhD in electrical engineering. I'm gonna work on that. Then I'm gonna figure it out, guys. Brandon, Maj, great stuff. Do it again soon.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.